Good evening to one and all. So I'm Rajshekhar T, a task force member at DTE. Today we are conducting 7th lecture series under AROHAN 2024. This is an initiative by our Honorable Principal Secretary, Higher Education Department, Government of Karnataka, to share innovative and best practices adopted in polytechnics. It's a platform to share valuable experiences, textbook and research paper publications, patents, if any, presentations in conferences, conduction of invited talks, seminars, workshops, and achievements of students or faculty, if any. These lecture series are conducted fortnightly on 5th and 20th of every month. Among the 4 speakers, one speaker will be from the industry. So on behalf of the Department of Technical Education, so it is a privilege and honor to welcome our Honorable Principal Secretary to Government of Karnataka Higher Education, Shri Shrikar MS IAS, Honorable Commissioner, Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Shri Jagdish G IAS, Honorable Director, Department of Technical Education, Shri Prasanna H IAS, our beloved Joint Director, CDC, Shri G. Shrikant. I also welcome all the principals, head of sections, faculty and students who have connected to this online lecture series. In our today's talk series, we invited speaker of the day from industry is Madam Rohini Nag, Regional Manager at ESSCI, Electronic Sector Skills Council of India for South India. So just Madam will be speaking on opportunities in industry for diploma graduates. A brief biodata of Madam is having 10 years of versatile experience across domains of manufacturing, training and skilling in electronics, experienced in business development, ERP and project management, independently handled various projects on CSR, government engagements, government-funded programs, industry resource planning, and corporate trainings under Skill India initiative, identified potential business opportunities, built winning business proposals, worked on creation of leads, market penetration, resource planning, project execution, and strategic solutions for operation challenges. Working under the government initiative has provided a lot of exposure to the dynamics in the skilling ecosystem, which has enhanced the problem-solving skills, possess efficient communication and networking skills. So she has also associated with our Polytechnic students through Samsung Innovation Campus, conducted hackathons for the students. And I welcome Madam Rohini Nag. Madam, over to you, Madam.
Thank you so much, Rajshekhar. Good evening, everyone. Very happy to be the part of this wonderful initiative, AROHAN. And I congratulate all the team of DTE for this. This is such a wonderful step towards connecting with the students and the industry, where it is very much crucial to understand what the industry needs and how the academic institutions are preparing the students for it. So I would just like to share a brief video about what Electronic Sector Skill Council of India is. So let me share a small video with you all.
It all begins with. And last but not the least,
I hope it's visible.
Yes, madam, it is visible.
Begins with a dream. And skills turn these dreams into reality. Human evolution stands testimony to the fact. The higher our skill levels, the higher we grow. The modern world, a smarter world, driven by smart electronic appliances. Today, it's hard to imagine our lives without electrical appliances, and even harder to imagine appliances without electronics. Steam is where it all began. The power of steam was the driving force behind the factories powering the first industrial revolution. Electricity changed our lives for the better and powered the mass production model, or Industry 2.0 as we know it. The advent of computers and chips augmented electrical power with intelligence, heralding Industry 3.0 of our times. Industry 4.0 is about connectivity. It's an opportunity to radically change the way industry responds to the needs of our current smart society. The advancement of Industry 4.0 will be driven by a smart, interconnected environment, where processes of enabling technology like AR, VR, AI, ML, IoT will have a major chunk of the jobs. But jobs require skills. To achieve this scenario of skilling industrial manpower, the government has initiated a step forward with the formation of the Electronic Sector Skill Council of India. ESSCI is a non-profit organization. The council is promoted by 6 associations, with financial support by the National Skill Development Corporation. Electronic devices worth billions of dollars are built in automated or semi-automated factories across the globe. The driving force in electronics production worldwide comes from the electronics manufacturing services, which account for almost 40% of the market. Fueled by this huge demand for electronic manufacturing services, the contract manufacturing industry will grow from $471 billion in 2017 to $675 billion in 2022, at the rate of approximately 7.5% CAGR. India accounts for a minuscule 4% of this global market share, that is just $21.2 billion US. The Indian electronics industry, however, is gaining momentum and is firmly on track to realizing its full potential of manufacturing, services, and designing capabilities. A significant milestone in our sojourn towards becoming a manufacturing hub was achieved in 2016-2017, when India's domestic electronics production exceeded imports of electronic goods into the country. As per the National Policy on Electronics 2018, the demand for electronics hardware in the country is projected to increase from $45 billion US in 2009 to $400 billion US by the financial year 2022. The penetration of electronic products in Indian households is estimated to be one of the fastest. And with new initiatives like Digital India, Startup India, introduction of GST, smart cities, and other favorable ESDM policies, together with a fast-paced mobile revolution and an increase in e-commerce, it is poised to grow further at an exponential rate. Following this development, a greater focus on Make in India has been the mantra of the Indian government, and towards this objective, policies and regulations have resulted in the declaration of electronic clusters across various states of the country.
The real challenge for the Skills Council is that there is a mindset issue in the country. The mindset is that I must have a degree. I think what's more important is to have skills rather than degrees. There are close to 1 crore people who pass out and have degrees in this country every year. The next area that we want to work from the Skills Council is to work very closely with the industry and ensure that we meet all their needs for the people that they want to have for various parts of their business, be it manufacturing, service, technology, R&D, etc. We want to meet those. And therefore, we've designed all our courses to meet those. The third area that we are focusing on is quality. We want real high quality in delivery of our skills courses that we have all over the country. And I would urge all our skill partners to pay a lot of attention to delivering very high quality skills. The next point that I also want to very clearly look towards is that this year we should pay a lot of attention to placement. There's no need to just keep on training people. We need to keep on training people and provide avenues for placement. And last but not the least, the council wants to utilize technology to be able to deliver skills training all over the country. And we want to reach literally every corner of the country through technology. So that's going to be one of our big breakthrough objectives.
We at ESSCI form subject matter expert groups and do deep industry consultation to develop the qualification packs and create national occupational standards. These are approved by NSQC to make them as national standards before including them in various government schemes. Across our 9 subsectors, we have created 160 unique qualification packs for various NSQF levels as of today.
ESSCI is responsible for creating standards, assessment, and certification as per the National Skill Qualification Framework to augment the employability of the Indian workforce globally.
Before delivering any training, we make sure all the trainers undergo a structured training program of training of trainers and training of assessors prior to qualifying them for conducting any training or assessment.
The HPMP RPL project is being implemented by the Electronic Statistics Council of India under the RPL scheme of the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. It's being executed under the MOU between the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forest and the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. The program seeks to upskill and certify 100,000 AC technicians to enable them to handle the replacement of ozone-depleting gases with the more environment-friendly gases, which is also mandatory as per the Montreal Protocol under the Vienna Convention on Climate Change.
We have trained approximately 7 lakh plus candidates in various industries.
I would like to thank ESSCI for providing me training and placement opportunity to work in EMS industry and helping in building my career.
We also conduct apprenticeship training programs. We have trained candidates from India Skill to participate in the World Skill competition. The journey to World Skill begins with the selection of students in different states, leading to a regional level competition. The training of selected national level finalists are supported by industries in various fields.
World Skill organizes the World Championship of Vocational Skills and is held every 2 years in different parts of the world. It brings together young people, industry, government, education and institutions to promote the benefits and need for skilled trade professionals.
We at Schneider Electric India are happy to be part of the Electronic Statistics Council of India in focusing and promoting automation as one of the key subsectors for the industry and for the nation. We are also very happy to be associated with Electronic Sector Skill Council of India in the World Skill Program, where there's a huge focus on building the next gen workforce, the scale of the workforce which we need for India and specifically for the new tailored supply chain 4.0 or the industry 4.0 which we all are talking about.
Taking our journey to the next level, we have formed a placement portal to support industries in hiring the best of talent as per their requirements.
तो मैंने मोबाइल रिपेयरिंग टेक्नीशियन का कोर्स किया था, जिसमें मुझे बेहतर नॉलेज मिली और सर्टिफिकेट मिलने के बाद मैंने एक छोटी सी कंपनी में जॉब कर ली। जॉब करने के बाद मुझे कुछ लगा कि अब मैं खुद का कुछ कर सकता हूँ, तो मैंने एक छोटा सा बिजनेस किया।
We at Dividend Technology really thank Electronic Sector Council of India to support us in upskilling our existing manpower at their model training center.
For better upskilling of training resources, we have model training centers with state-of-the-art facilities to showcase and train industrial manpower. Here, all the industrial consultations are available under one roof. ESSCI has understood the gap between the current campus academic and industry requirements and has launched STEP for delivering industry-ready candidates for better R&D work. The profile of the new age technician is undergoing a tectonic shift. From just an average technician to a value-added one. The future is electronics. Now, be a part of it. ESSCI, Skilling India in Electronics.
Thank you for watching the video. I hope it gave a small perspective about what ESSCI is and what Skill India initiative is. I'm very proud to be part of this initiative and taking it to several partners in the ecosystem. So the whole ecosystem of skill is enabled with 4 important pillars: the government, industry, academic institution, last but not the least, our students. So there are enormous opportunities in electronics domain. As you know, there are so many industries upcoming with manufacturing plants in Karnataka. So we have been continuously interacting with industries to understand their requirement in terms of skilled resources. So there will be a number of opportunities in terms of the EMS vertical. There are different verticals in electronics domain, as it's a huge domain encompassing the PCB, EMS, IoT, EV, and home appliances or any consumer durables. So all these come under electronics under 9 subsectors, and we have versatile programs which are being offered in each subsector. We are connected with the respective industries in that domain, and we work with them very closely, and we have been obtaining their requirement continuously. So there has been a lot of requirement for diploma candidates, specifically in the manufacturing space, because they need numerous employees in the assembly lines and in the technician roles, because that requires certain skill sets which are not essentially being taught in other disciplines. So diploma candidates definitely have a huge opportunity. There are very aspirational training programs which can be taken up along with your academics, which will enable you to get such opportunities quickly. And I would say that these are like a stepping stone for your career. So once you start working in the domain, you will be able to understand the critical requirements of that space, and you will be able to enhance your knowledge and accommodate to the requirement. We have been doing a lot of CSR projects also for Department of Technical Education. So I'm sure that most of you would have heard about the Samsung Innovation Campus program that we did in the Bangalore diploma colleges and even Mysore diploma colleges. So the students have shown equally the enthusiasm in participating in these programs, and they have really been able to get benefit out of such programs. So I'm trying to highlight such programs because this is not a single program that is coming to your doorstep. Industry is equally ready and equally motivated to connect with the candidates and train them in prayer before they graduate or before they come out of the college, so that they will be able to start working from the day one in the industry. So there are several programs which can give you a continuous upgradation of knowledge, because that is what is going to keep you on a sustainable growth. You have to keep learning the new technology, the advancement in that, then only you will be able to sustain. I would like to just give an analogy of a woodcutter. If an woodcutter is not able to keep his tools and equipments sharpened or mended, then probably he will not be able to do much of a work. He will be struggling to finish a single task. But when you see that a person or a craftsman is able to fine tune his tools and equipments and keep himself upgraded with the requirement, then definitely there is no stop. So there are number of opportunities in terms of EMS industries where you see the growth. It is not that you have to start as a technician and you have to end at a technician's level. Technicians have a growth path, and which is also shared with the training program that is given to you. So DTE has been very supportive in terms of conducting such training, which are industry assisted and which will help the candidates to enhance their knowledge, and also probably to know what the exact industry requirement is. Otherwise, it is only the theory that you will be learning. You will not be able to know the practical requirements of the industry. Once you get into an industry, it will be an ultimate surprise. There are certain employability skills also which are being taught along with the training programs, which will enable you to understand how the etiquettes should be when you join a company, how you should be behaving with your teammates, how you should be able to manage, and how you should be able to lead the team. So these are being also taught with the trainings that are being offered to you. And it's only the skill that could be a differentiator for you. If you don't upskill or if you don't enhance your knowledge through skilling, there is no such opportunity which will come to your door. Always please be on your toes to get proper knowledge and try to learn more. So when you see these courses like IoT or EV or drone or mechatronics, all these programs are not just offered for engineering graduates. It is being open for the diploma candidates too. So diploma, the curriculum also is already being revamped. Along with it, the vocational training is also going to be provided for the candidates, which will strengthen your skills, and you will be able to compete with the compliance or the requirement of the industries. So when you see the industries like Foxconn, Wistron, Samsung, LG, all these companies need more technicians for their jobs to be completed, or for their industries which are all across the country. You might not have to restrict your presence in the Karnataka state. You can also look at various other opportunities which are prevalent in the neighborhood states. As you know, Tamil Nadu is also having a lot of industries which have come up in the manufacturing plant. So there, not just for the students, why Skill India is trying to reach out to the academic institutions is to strengthen the whole system by training the trainers also, because these are like advanced technologies which are not being known to everybody. It keeps getting upgraded. So upgrading yourself itself is a very crucial thing. So there are training of trainers which are being conducted for these future skills, which will enable you to teach the candidates properly, and they will also enjoy learning. So learning is the only thing which can give you proper impetus to catch up with the career space, catch up with the advancement in the technology. So please be very enthusiastic when something is being offered by your college or the department as an additional program, because it's not a burden. It is not something that you have to take it like that. It is always that for your benefit, for you to get employed. In our presentation, they also mentioned about a job portal which is there from ESSCI. So all of you are free to enroll yourself in the portal where the jobs will be uploaded by different industries, and we are there to facilitate the job opportunities to the candidate, the suitable candidates. The profiles will be shortlisted by our team, and they will intimate the candidates in prayer for the interviews. So please take advantage of this initiative of the government, which will help you to get a better job. Because looking at a short-term benefit would not be of any use. Please look always for a long-term benefit, which is only through learning. So learning can happen when you are at college. So this is the golden time that you have where you can have the maximum benefit and get the optimum results out of it. So I would suggest that all of you please enroll on the portal too, and also support the initiatives that the Department of Technical Education is taking up, whether it's a faculty or a student. Equal participation is required to strengthen this system and also keep your future very bright. So I wish all luck to all the participants here, and any queries regarding anything in Skill India. So you're free to connect with me, or you can probably ask here in the forum also. Once again, I would wish all the best to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for giving an overview of Electronic Sector Skills Council of India and how this Skill India initiative is producing high quality skill required for the industry. And as you have mentioned, a lot of job opportunities are available for polytechnic students, and only thing is they have to meet the latest skilling standards, to meet the latest technologies. So if I think have some questions. Ranganataya has a question.
Yes, please.
Rashmi Bantwal from Government Polytechnic, Bantwal. Okay, Panduranga, Dr. Panduranga from Government Polytechnic, Belur. Panduranga, sir, you can speak.
Yeah. Good evening, madam, and good evening, sir.
Yes.
How can we become a part of as a resource person to the Skill India programs?
Sir, I hope you are working as a lecturer with the Polytechnic.
Yeah.
So how you can become a part of this Skill India initiative is that we run several programs. So
Yes, yes.
as I was mentioning about, a few of them are CSR programs, few of them will be the funded model which will be conducted by the state government. So there you will be participating as a subject matter expert who will be delivering the training. So apart from that, what you can do is that to curate the curriculum, when we are introducing a curriculum, you will be taking an active part in that, where you can definitely share your knowledge on that subject, what has to be there, and from your perspective, what you have been listening from the students as a feedback, the requirement, that can be shared. And as a college, definitely it will come to you when the suitable opportunity is there. We will be sharing it with you, and we will see that all the people who are working in the academic institution will be part of that initiative and will be contributing towards it.
Okay. Madam, if in case of some multi dimensional oriented or multi-engineering branch which is required to involve for particular case of model to train to address some skill. For example, if you consider a textile as a one thing, there is a textile skill council also, but in case of preparation of the mechanism or a machinery, it is a like a mechatronics kind of thing. Then how to address those kind of skill sector to train?
Okay, that's a good question, sir. I had to mention when I was presenting on our skill initiative, there are certain requirements which are multidisciplinary. Just to give you an example, we offer programs on medical electronics. And similarly, there has been a program that we coined out, which is called parametronics. So where the clinical concepts were clubbed with the medical electronics concepts, and a single candidate or a single resource is enabled with both the skills. So such initiatives have also been done, and those were for the international placements. So when I was mentioning about the job portal and the placement support that the ESSCI is giving, we are also looking at international placement requirements, and we are supporting it. So any candidate who is open to learn multidisciplinary, we have the programs, we have the industry assisted programs which are short term and which can be clubbed. So those programs can be definitely conducted. So it is dependent on the kind of requirement that is from the industry. So based on which we will be able to curate the curriculum and do such an exclusive program.
Thank you, madam.
Ranganataya or Rashmi, madam, you raised your hands. Okay, most probably anybody else who has any question can ask. Okay, Rashmi, madam. No. Okay. Okay, I think there are no questions, madam.
Fine, sir.
Madam, thank you for accepting our request to speak on this occasion. I thank you on behalf of Department of Technical Education.
Thank you so much.
Also thank Mr. Nikhil J from Corporate Outreach in reaching out to you and getting connected to us. And I think it was a very nice exposure for all of our faculty who are joined here. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure joining.
Thank you. Now, today's next speaker is Major Anil Kumar G. Is Principal, Government Polytechnic, Sira. Welcome, sir. Sir is there. And he'll be speaking today on fostering growth of character, discipline, and leadership qualities in youth through NCC. So he has more than 37 years of teaching experience in the Department of Technical Education from 1987 onwards. And he has worked as Associate NCC Officer from 95 to 2019 at Government Polytechnic, Tumkuru, and Government Polytechnic, Chenpatna. He has got Chief Minister's Commendation in 2004 and Director General NCC Commendation in 2019. And from 2019 till today, as on today, he is working as Principal, Government Polytechnic, Sira. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, good evening, one and all. As am I audible?
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಒಂದು ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. fostering character, discipline, and leadership qualities among the youth through NCC is my topic of the day. So this I am sharing the screen. I am sharing the screen. Is it visible to all?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಏನ್ ಮೇಡಮ್?
ಈಗ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್? ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಓಕೆ, ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್.
ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಯ್ತು ಅದು. ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ? ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಅವರ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇದೆ. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬರುತ್ತೆ
ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಅವರ್
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ.
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ವಿಸಿಬಲ್.
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್.
ಸೊ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ?
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಬಾಟಮ್ ರೈಟ್ ಕಾರ್ನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್.
ರೈಟ್
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ ಮೌಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಮೇಡಮ್? ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ?
ಈಗ
ಇನ್ನೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಒಂಚೂರು ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಸರ್, ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ F5
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಇದು ಅವರ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ,
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, PPT ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ?
PPT ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು PPT ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ, ಆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿ ಸರ್, ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ PPT ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್.
ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬಂತು. ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಾ?
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಬೇಡ ಅದೇ ಸರ್. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿ ಸರ್. ಇದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ F5 ಇವಾಗ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಡನ್.
Thank you, Manala. So I have divided the contents of my topic as introduction of NCC, motto of NCC, vision and mission, NCC flag, aims of NCC, fostering growth of character, fostering discipline, fostering leadership qualities in youth, benefits of joining NCC, centrally organized camps and other activities in NCC. So coming to the introduction of NCC, the National Cadet Corps has established in the University Corps, which was created under the Defence Act 1917 during the British period, with the object to make up the shortage of the army. During the First World War, they faced the shortage of army. To recruit the cadets and to train them properly, they have started University Corps. in 1920, Indian Territorial Act was passed. That is, University Training Corps was established in 1920. In 1942, University Officers Training Corps was established just prior to our independence. NCC Act was passed in 1948. NCC was raised on 15th July 1948 on the recommendations of the committee headed by Pandit H.N. Kunjuru. Strength now has reached over 13 lakh. Role and performance of NCC was suggested by Dr. G.S. Mahajani Committee in 1972. In 1986, Thapan Committee gives the present aims and objectives. So this is the brief introduction of NCC. Now the motto of NCC is unity and discipline. Ekata or Anusashan. Next, coming to the vision of NCC, empower volunteer youth to become potential leaders and responsible citizens of the country. Mission is to develop leadership and character qualities, mold discipline and nurture social integration and cohesion through multi-phase programs conducted in a military environment. This NCC flag contains NCC crest in gold in the middle, that is NCC is written at the center with letter NCC. Red, this red color represents Army, deep blue represents Navy, and light blue for the Air Force. These 17 lotuses around this NCC emblem represents 17 state directorates. There are total 17 NCC directorates in India functioning now. Next, coming to aims of NCC, the first aim is to develop qualities of character, discipline, leadership, and ideals of selfless service among the youth to make them useful citizens. Second one is to create a human resource of organized, trained, and motivated youth to produce leadership in all walks of life, including the armed forces, and always available for the service of the nation. The third and most important one is that is required for our country to provide a suitable environment to motivate the youth to take up a career in armed forces. Next, coming to the today's topic, that is fostering growth of character. That is the first one is character. How NCC is fostering growth of character. Fostering the growth of character involves nurturing and developing positive traits and values in individuals. This can be achieved through various approaches and practices that encourage ethical behavior, empathy, responsibility, and resilience. Here are some strategies which we are following for the fostering character growth. First one is leadership training. NCC provides ample opportunity for cadets to take leadership roles. Encouraging cadets to lead their peers helps them develop responsibility, decision-making skills, and confidence. Second one is discipline and routine. The regimented nature of NCC activities, including drill, parade, and camps, instills a sense of discipline and time management. Consistent routines helps cadet internalize the importance of order and self-control. Third one is service and community engagement. NCC often involves cadets in community service and social welfare activities. Participating in these initiatives fosters empathy, social responsibility, and a sense of civic duty. Physical training and challenges. Rigorous physical training and adventure activities such as trekking, mountaineering, and obstacle courses build resilience, perseverance, and teamwork among cadets. Moral and ethical education. Integrate sessions on moral and ethical values within the training curriculum. Discussions on integrity, honesty, and ethical behavior often reinforced through real-life scenarios helps cadet to develop a strong moral compass. Patriotism and national pride. NCC emphasizes patriotism and love for the country. Activities like national celebrations, flag hoisting ceremonies, and participation in national events such as Republic Day Parade instills a sense of national pride and duty. Mentorship and guidance. Senior cadets and officers serve as role models and mentors. Their guidance and support help younger cadets navigate challenges and make positive choices, reinforcing the values of respect and responsibilities. Cultural and social activities. Organizing and participating in cultural programs, debates, and social gatherings foster camaraderie, cultural awareness, and respect for diversity among cadets. Reflection and debriefing. After activities or exercises, conduct debriefing sessions where cadets reflect their experiences, discuss what they have learned, and identify areas for improvement. This encourages self-awareness and critical thinking. Recognition and rewards. Acknowledge and reward positive behavior achievements and exemplary conduct through awards, certificates, and public recognition. This reinforces desirable traits and motivates others to follow suit. So this is all about the various steps what NCC is taking to fostering the character growth among the youth. Next, coming to that next topic, that is fostering discipline. Discipline is a cornerstone of National Cadet Corps and is essential for the effective functioning and success of its program. Here are some key aspects and strategies for maintaining and enhancing discipline within the NCC. Structured training programs. NCC trainings scheduled are highly structured, involving regular drills, physical training, and classes. This structure helps cadets to develop a routine instilling punctuality, order, and self-discipline. Uniform and appearance. Adherence to strict dress codes and grooming standards fosters a sense of unity and pride among cadets. The emphasis on maintaining a neat and tidy appearances reinforces the importance of discipline and personal presentation. Drill and parade practices. Regular drill practices and parade require precision, coordination, and attention to detail. These activities teach cadets to follow commands accurately and work in unison, reinforcing collective discipline. Role of instructors and senior cadets. Instructors and senior cadets play a crucial role in maintaining discipline. Their leadership, mentorship, and enforcement of rules set a standard for younger cadets to follow. Disciplinary action. Implementing fair and consistent disciplinary action for infractions ensures that cadets understand the consequences of their actions. This helps maintain order and deters misconduct. Next one is, that is fostering. Role of NCC are fostering leadership qualities among youth. The National Cadet Corps provides a structured environment that nurtures and develops essential leadership qualities in youth. Here are some of the key leadership qualities that are cultivated through NCC training. First one is responsibility. NCC cadets learn to take responsibility for their actions and decisions. This includes managing tasks, leading teams, and ensuring that their duties are performed to the best of their abilities. Teamwork. Effective leaders must work well with others. NCC cadets engage in numerous team activities, fostering cooperation, collaboration, and the ability to work towards common goals. Communication skills. Leadership in the NCC requires clear and effective communication. Cadets are trained to convey instructions, provide feedback and engage in constructive dialogue with peers and superiors. Confidence. Participation in drill, public speaking, and leadership roles helps cadet build self-confidence. This confidence enables them to lead others with assurance and poise. Problem-solving skills. Leadership involves navigating challenges and finding solutions. The NCC's varied activities and exercises develop cadets' ability to think critically and solve problems efficiently. These are all the various steps or activities undertaken by NCC to fostering character, discipline, and leadership qualities. Now, what are the benefits of joining NCC? We will discuss. So, we will have a look at the benefits of NCC C certificate holders. NCC are, that is in Indian Army, in every regular course of Indian Military Academy, 32 vacancies are reserved. The C certified NCC cadets. But to join IMA, it is a must for all candidates to be declared successful by Service Selection Board. The cadets with C certificate are exempted from Combined Defense Service examinations conducted by UPSC, but for this, the cadets must have A or B grade in C certificate. They should pass C certificate in A or B grade. This is very, very important. If a cadet got C grade in C certificate, then he is not get any benefit of these recruitments. NCC C certification offers you 10 to 15 bonus marks in paramilitary forces recruitment, that is BSF, CISF, CRPF, SSB, etc. If you have C certificates, then your written exam will be waived off for the post of soldier general duty. Indian Navy. In Indian Navy, NCC C certificate candidates get 6 extra marks for sailor's job and 15 extra marks for artificer apprentice. Up to 9 vacancies in Navy are reserved for NCC C certificate candidates. To get the recruitment done on these vacancies, the candidates must have done his or her BSc in physics or mathematics, or BE candidates are also eligible for these vacancies. The age group of the candidates must be 19 to 24. He or she must have passed by SSB, exempted from Combined Defense Service examination of UPSC. Indian Air Force. Coming to Indian Air Force, in Indian Air Force, the NCC C certified candidates get the advantage of 5 marks. In pilot course, total 10% of vacancies are reserved for NCC cadets. Public sector. Many organizations from the public sector give advantage to the cadets with the C certification like Indian Airlines, Pawan Hans Limited, the National Small Industries Corporation Limited, and many more. Apart from this, many companies from private sector consider the NCC certificates as an advantage. When you mention NCC certified or achieved NCC C certificate in your resume, it gives hint about your personality. So we would suggest the students should join NCC not only to join Indian Armed Forces, but to be a disciplined person. Defense benefits. For the candidates who aspire to join Defense Forces, NCC C certificate is a golden opportunity for them to go to SSB directly. These candidates are exempted from giving the common entrance exam and are called directly for SSB. NCC C certificate holders will have following benefits over non-holders in defense as on 2017. That is CDSC, Combined Defense Service Examinations. When if a candidate clears CDSC and the subsequent SSB, he will have following reservation. In various academies, a separate merit list is prepared for NCC cadets with C certificate. IMA, 13 to 15 vacancies reserved for C certified holders. INA, 5 to 8 vacancies reserved for C certificate holders. Special entry, that is OTA, Chennai, 50 vacancies for C certificate holders for NCC special entry. That is Air Force Academy, Hyderabad, 10% vacancy reserved for C certificate air wing holders in all courses, recruitment as Jawans. If a candidate wants to join the defense as soldier, general duty, clerk, SKT, technical, traditional, catering, he will be eligible for the award of following benefits: A certificate 5 marks, B certificate 10 marks, and C certificate holders, C certificate who are participated in Republic Day parade will be exempted from common entrance exam. So this is 100% marks they can get in common entrance exam. So these are all the advantages. In addition to this, if a diploma entry also in CET, we are having reservation for NCC cadets to get good college seats in good, technical courses in good colleges. So reservation is there for RD parade participants, Thal Sainik camp, and then this Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat camps. These are the centrally organized camps. Vai Sainik camp, Now Sainik camp, rock climbing camp, national integration camp. That is now it has been renamed as Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat camp, Thal Sainik camp, Army attachment camps, Air Force attachment camps, Republic Day camps, Independence Day camps. So these are all the centrally organized camps, and for regular training, we are at the battalion level, we are conducting annual training camps, that is ATC or combined annual training camp. So if a cadet attended CATC or ATC before attaining the B certificate, then only he will be eligible to take the B certificate examinations. So generally, a student to appear a B certificate exam, he should attend 2 years training, institutional training, and 1 camp. For getting a C certificate, he should be in 3rd year and pass the B certificate and should attend 1 CATC camp, minimum 1 CATC camp after passing B certificate. Next, coming to the various activities in NCC, firing, it is most desirable, and that is likely all cadets will like this activity. That is, they are having much more interest for firing. So the cadets can have firing opportunity after joining NCC. Drill is another important activity, as I already mentioned. So weapon training. So no one other than NCC cadets will have a chance to touch a weapon. But NCC cadets are oftenly having chance to touch the weapons. Not only touch the weapons, they can assemble and disassemble the various weapons such as rifle, SLR, and even LMG. They can assemble and disassemble. Next, various adventure activities the students can participate. That is in trekking, parasailing, paragliding. That is, these NCC adventurous activities are land-based, water-based, and air-based. Social service activities, the one cadet should participate compulsorily during a tenure of 3 years. He should be having these exposures, social activities such as tree plantation, and then awareness rallies, blood donation, etc. So this is all about my presentation. So if you are having any doubts, now you can ask doubts. How to raise a unit in your institution? You have to write a letter to your nearby battalion. First, you have to find out to your institution belongs to which NCC battalion. You have to write a letter to NCC battalion, and they will maintain the seniority list. And now they have planned to expand NCC units throughout the state. So now we are having ample chances to raise NCC unit in your institution. For after raising, one regular staff member should be appointed as caretaker, and then he has to give his willingness, and he has to go for PRCN, pre-commissioning training of a duration of 90 days. For men officers, they have to go for PRCN and NCC training in OTA Kamti. Kamti is near Nagpur, just 13 kilometers from Nagpur, and officers training academy is situated there, and they will train the NCC, associate NCC officers. For women officers, they have to go for a training, PRCN or regular training in the Gwalior. WOTA, Women Officers Training Academy, is situated in Gwalior. So once to become an NCC officer, age limit is 42 years. Within 42 years, you have to apply for this thing. Institution boss should specify one interested person. So this is very, very good opportunity to serve the institution and mold the youth as a useful, good citizens. Not only getting the job, not only getting the benefits. The prime motto is that to make him a good citizen, useful citizen for our country. Thank you. If you are having any doubts, now you can ask.
Suvarna Kabaddi, I think. Suvarna. Muralidhar. Muralidhar has got any questions? He has raised Muralidhar or Suvarna.
One more thing for polytechnic lecturers, minimum 4 years you can stay at a place through NCC. So if you claim as an NCC officer, minimum 4 years you can stay. And there is a rule that is before transferring an NCC, the directorate has to take the consent from the directorate. But our directorate is unluckily they are not following these instructions. Just simply they will transfer the NCC officers for the institutions where there is no NCC. If there is a break more than 2 years, then the seniority and commission, everything will be lost. So they have to, once again, he will become fresh person. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವನು ಸೀನಿಯಾರಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆಗಿ NCC ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೇರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ?
ಸುವರ್ಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುರಳೀಧರ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಮುರಳೀಧರ್ ಏನ್ ಮುರಳಿ ಕಡೂರಲ್ಲಿ NCC ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ?
ಸರ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ NCC ಆಫೀಸರ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ ಏನೇನು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನೂ ನೋಡಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ABC 3 ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಮೋರ್ ಓವರ್ ನಾನು 2013ರಿಂದನೂ NCC ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕನಾಗಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ನಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಒಂದು ಸಜೆಷನ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, DT ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೊಲೀಗ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ಸಿಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಸರ್ ಹತ್ರನೂ ನಾನು ಸುಮಾರು ಸರಿ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಏನು NCC ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿದಾವಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಲೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಸರ್ ಡೇ ಬೈ ಡೇ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇಯರ್ ಟು ಇಯರ್.
ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್. ನಾವು ಬರ್ತಾ ಈಗ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ 90 days PRCN ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಟಫ್. ಅದು 90 days ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೂ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರಬಲ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ತನಕ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸರ್ವ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ನನ್ಗೂ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
2 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇದೇ ವಿಚಾರನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ನ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಸರ್ಗೆ ಓಪನ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ರು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇವರು ಇದ್ರು ಸರ್, ಯಾರು ನಮ್ಮ ಚೀಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅವರು ಇದ್ರು. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ವು ಸರ್. ಬಟ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರದ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಮನ ಸರ್. ಅದಾಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೂಪ್ನ ಮುನ್ನುಗ್ಸೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಸರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ನನ್ನ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ 15 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರನರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈವನ್ ಈಗ ನಾಳೆ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಆಗಿ ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಸರ್. NCC ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಸರ್, ಈಗ DSAG ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೇನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ನಾನೀಗ ಕಡೂರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ NCC ಯೂನಿಟ್ ನಾನು ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮುಗಿದೋಗೋ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಅಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾರ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಉರಿತದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಏನಾರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾರ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಅನುಕೂಲಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ.
ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, DSCGP ನಾನು 1 ವರ್ಷ 91-92 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ ಆಗಿನೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡಿಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಮುಂದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು 2 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಈವನ್
ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಅದು ಒಂದು ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು
ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಇನ್ನೇನಾದ್ರು
ಒಂದು ರಾಜಶೇಖರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಏನಪ್ಪ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಟೆನ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ NCC ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವೇಟೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್. ಫಾರ್ ಮಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದೆ 2013 2013 ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೇಜರ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದು ಒಂದೇ ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ ನಂಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು KIT ಹೋದೆ, ಸ್ಟೇ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದೆ, ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. 2013 ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಆಫ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ತುಮಕೂರು, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ಸಿರಾ ಆನ್ ಡೆಪ್ಯುಟೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ boon for me from NCC. Because of NCC, I am staying here. So this is my view. Please express on behalf of our NCC, all NCC officers, and in front of higher authorities. So
sir, you have raised this on this platform. Thank you. ಸರ್, ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂಶಗಳು NCC ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್, ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್, ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ತರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಯೂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ NCC ಮುಖಾಂತರನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಅವಕಾಶ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಇರುವ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ NCC ಬೆಟಾಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಅಳವಡಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇದೊಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಅನಿಲ್ ಸರ್, ಮೇಜರ್ ಅನಿಲ್ ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್. ಕೆಲವರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್, you are representing which polytechnic. And we'll come to the third speaker of the day today. He is Mr. Jagdish R. Bagli. He'll be speaking on future fuels of sustainable transportation for India. Jagdish R. Bagli is presently working in Government Polytechnic, Bagepalli. He had his initial high school from Basaveshwara High School, Bagalkote. Then he went on to do his automobile engineering, BTech from Basaveshwara Engineering College, and secured 3rd rank in 96, and master degree in machine design from the same college in 2023, securing 1st rank. So prior to joining the Department of Technical Education, Shri Jagdish R. Bagli has worked in numerous industrial sectors like Maruti Suzuki dealers, Premier Automobile Limited, and also General Motors and Fiat service centers. So presently he is a selection grade lecturer in Department of Automobile Engineering at Government Polytechnic, Bagepalli. Sir will be speaking on future fuels of sustainable transportation for India. Over to you, sir. Sir Bagli, sir.
ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್ ಈಗ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನೀವೇನು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಇತ್ತಾ ಸರ್?
ಹಾ, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಅದೊಂದು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ. ಶೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಈಗ?
ಹಾ, ಶೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಸರ್. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಓಕೆ. ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನೇ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಶೋ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಿಂಗ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಿ.
ಓಕೆ, ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
F5 ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಈಗ ಮೇಡಮ್?
ಹಾ, ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ. Myself, Jagdish Bagli. Good evening to everyone, first of all. And in this session, I am trying to present future fuels of sustainable transportation for India. This topic is very important at present. In this session, I am going to present these topics. First of all, let's understand the importance of the subject, and then let us understand how a battery operated vehicle works. Then a very important part of the battery operated vehicle is lithium polymer battery, and let us learn about some features of lithium polymer battery. And then let us study about or learn about advantages and disadvantages of battery electrical vehicles. Then we'll go to one more important topic, which Japanese car manufacturers are interested in. They're trying to introduce one more competitor to the battery electrical vehicle. They're using hydrogen and they're using it in internal combustion engine. That we'll learn. And then what are the features of hydrogen which are suitable for internal combustion engine fuel, as well as what are the different deficiencies of the fuel as internal combustion engine fuel. Then we will learn. We'll try to discuss about advantages and disadvantages of hydrogen internal combustion engine vehicles. Also, in this session, we are trying to discuss about concept of total life cycle carbon emission, and then comparison of this total life cycle carbon emission of battery electrical vehicle and hydrogen internal combustion engine operated vehicle. Then, after comparing these two things, let us try to have some final thoughts. What is the importance of this subject? That is future fuels of for sustainable transportation. So first of all, the Western countries or developed countries have used the natural resources rampantly, and they are mostly responsible for the environmental issues that we are experiencing today, and they are enforcing us to maintain. They are making us participate in this environmental issue, but actually they have used coal as primary electricity generation, and they went with their revolution, industrial revolution, and that industrial revolution is actually presently the problem which is creating environmental issues. But anyhow, Indian government has committed itself to become net zero carbon emitter by 2070. That is why, to become net zero carbon emitter, Indian government has proposed 7 pathways. The second pathway itself is developing an integrated, efficient, and inclusive transport system. That is why this topic is very important. We all think that battery electrical vehicles are the answer to the environmental problems, but that is not the case. Let us understand that problem in this session. Okay, now why this transportation system is actually a problem. In a global emission, when you consider global emission, around 24% of carbon dioxide is emitted by the transportation system. And among that 24% of carbon dioxide emitted, the transport emission is around 74.5%, around 75%. Among that 74.5%, the 45.1% is from road vehicles, that is cars, and another from 29 or almost 30% from trucks and lorries. And aviation is only 11.6%, shipping is around 10%, and then rail is only around 1%. So if we reduce the carbon emission from the road passenger vehicles as well as road freight vehicles, then we can almost reduce 24% of our carbon dioxide emission. That is why this topic is very important. So this is actually a layout of a typical battery operated vehicle. So here we have got some battery packs, and this is actually a controlling unit, that is what is called as battery management system. This is a power electronics unit, which is very helpful in maintaining the temperature of the battery while charging and discharging, because temperature of the battery is very important. It is also a safety issue as well as an efficiency issue. If the temperature rises, it may catch fire, and moderate high temperatures may reduce the battery capacity, its range. So hence, a battery management system is very important, which is used to control the charging rate and discharging rate to maintain a proper healthy temperature of the battery. So here, this battery pack supplies current to this battery management system to the motor, and then that motor drives front wheels or rear wheels or four wheels. The motor is not a simple electric motor. It is both motor as well as generator. This generator is very important. Whenever you remove your foot from the accelerator, the battery management system understands this through a sensor, and then it starts generating the kinetic energy of the vehicle. In that way, we can increase the range of the battery electrical vehicle, and this method is what is called as a regenerative braking system. So this is once again a onboard charger. It is a board, and it also has some software things. And through this board, we can charge the batteries from our charging plug, normal AC charging plug. So this is some overview of battery electrical vehicle. Then what are the features of lithium polymer battery? Here, this battery is not a single battery. It is it consists of very large number of small cylindrical lithium polymer batteries, which are connected in series or parallel to produce required voltage. Then each cell will consist of a cathode, and these cathodes are made up of normally lithium cobalt oxide, lithium manganese oxide, or lithium iron phosphates. So all these are very rare earth materials, hence it is expensive. Then the negative electrode or anode is made up of graphite intercalation, or it is made up of some layer type graphite, which is the primary purpose of that is only to hold lithium ions. Then the electrolyte plays very important role here. The earlier batteries used to have electrolyte, liquid electrolyte or gel type electrolyte. Nowadays, the electrolyte is polymer electrolyte, which is normally a polyethylene glycol. There are other types also. But if you change this polymer electrolyte into ceramics, sulfides or solid polymers, then the life of a battery can be increased, the charging rate or discharging rate can be increased, the fire hazards can be reduced, and the range can be increased, energy density can be increased. Let us watch a video on how a sodium polymer battery works.
A portable power supply has become the lifeline of the modern technological world, especially the lithium-ion battery. Imagine a world where all cars are driven by induction motors and not internal combustion engines. Induction motors are far superior to IC engines in almost all engineering aspects, as well as being more robust and cheaper. Another huge disadvantage of IC engines is that they only produce usable torque in a narrow band of engine RPM. Considering all of these factors, induction motors are definitely the perfect choice for an automobile. However, the power supplied for an induction motor is the real bottleneck in achieving a major induction motor revolution in the automobile industry. Let's explore how Tesla, with the help of lithium-ion cells, solved this issue and why lithium-ion cells are going to become even better in the future. Let's take a Tesla cell out from the battery pack and break it down. You can see different layers of chemical compounds inside it. Tesla's lithium-ion battery works on an interesting concept associated with metals called the electrochemical potential. Electrochemical potential is the tendency of a metal to lose electrons. In fact, the very first cell, developed by Alessandro Volta more than 200 years ago, was based on the concept of electrochemical potential. A general electrochemical series is shown here. According to these values, lithium has the highest tendency to lose electrons, and fluorine has the least tendency to lose electrons. Volta took two metals with different electrochemical potentials, in this case zinc and silver, and created an external flow of electricity. Sony made the first commercial model of a lithium-ion battery in 1991. It was again based on the same concept of electrochemical potential. Lithium, which has the highest tendency to lose electrons, was used in lithium-ion cells. Lithium has only one electron in its outer shell and always wants to lose this electron. Due to this reason, pure lithium is a highly reactive metal. It even reacts with water and air. The trick of a lithium-ion battery operation is the fact that lithium, in its pure form, is a reactive metal. But when lithium is part of a metal oxide, it is quite stable. Assume that somehow we have separated a lithium atom from this metal oxide. This lithium atom is highly unstable and will instantly form a lithium ion and an electron. However, lithium as a part of metal oxide is much more stable than this state. If you can provide two different paths for the electron and lithium ion flow between the lithium and the metal oxide, the lithium atom will automatically reach the metal oxide part. During this process, we have produced electricity from the electron flow through the one path. From these discussions, it is clear that we can produce electricity from this lithium metal oxide if we firstly separate out lithium atoms from the lithium metal oxide, and secondly, guide the electrons lost from such lithium atoms through an external circuit. Let's see how lithium-ion cells achieve these two objectives. A practical lithium-ion cell also uses an electrolyte and graphite. Graphite has a layered structure. These layers are loosely bonded so that the separated lithium ions can be stored very easily there. The electrolyte between the graphite and the metal oxide acts as a guard which allows only lithium ions through. Now let's see what happens when you connect a power source across this arrangement. The positive side of the power source will obviously attract and remove electrons from the lithium atoms of the metal oxide. These electrons flow through the external circuit as they cannot flow through the electrolyte and reach the graphite layer. In the meantime, the positively charged lithium ions will be attracted towards the negative terminal and will flow through the electrolyte. Lithium ions also reach the graphite layer space and get trapped there. Once all the lithium atoms reach the graphite sheet, the cell is fully charged. Thus, we have achieved the first objective, which is the lithium ions and electrons detached from the metal oxide. As we discussed, this is an unstable state, as if being perched on top of a hill. As soon as the power source is removed and a load is connected, the lithium ions want to go back to their stable state as a part of the metal oxide. Due to this tendency, the lithium ions move through the electrolyte and electrons via the load, just like sliding down a hill. Thus, we get an electrical current through the load. Please note that the graphite does not have a role in the chemical reaction of the lithium-ion cells. Graphite is just a storage medium for lithium ions. If the internal temperature of the cell rises due to some abnormal condition, the liquid electrolyte will dry up and there will be a short circuit between the anode and cathode, and this can lead to a fire or an explosion. To avoid such a situation, an insulating layer called a separator is placed between the electrodes. The separator is permeable for the lithium ions because of its microporosity. In a practical cell, the graphite and metal oxide are coated onto copper and aluminum foils. The foils act as current collectors here, and the positive and negative tabs can be easily taken out from the current collectors. An organic salt of lithium acts as the electrolyte, and it is coated onto the separator sheet. All these three sheets are wound onto the cylinder around a central steel core, thus making the cell more compact. A standard Tesla cell has a voltage of between 3 and 4.2 volts. Many such Tesla cells are connected in series and in a parallel fashion to form a module. 16 such modules are connected in series to form a battery pack in the Tesla car. Lithium-ion cells produce a lot of heat during the operation, and a high temperature will decay the cell's performance. A battery management system is used to manage the temperature, state of charge, voltage protection, and cell health monitoring of such a huge number of cells. Glycol-based cooling technology is used in a Tesla battery pack. The BMS adjusts the glycol flow rate to maintain the optimum battery temperature. Voltage protection is another crucial job of the BMS. For example, in these three cells, during charging, the higher capacity cell will be charged more than the rest. To solve this problem, the BMS uses something called cell balancing. In cell balancing, all the cells are allowed to charge and discharge equally, thus protecting them from over and under voltage. This is where Tesla scores over Nissan battery technology. The Nissan Leaf has a huge battery.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think you have got some idea of how a lithium-ion battery works. Now let us go to the next features of a lithium-ion battery. The battery electrical operated vehicles, the total greenhouse gas emission per kilometer is around 0.17 grams. If the battery source is, the electricity source is from renewable energy sources like wind energy, solar. Otherwise, there is no point in operating electrical vehicles. If you generate the electricity to charge your battery from coal, then if you expect the zero sum game, then it is not possible. So you have to use electricity from renewable energy sources like wind and solar. Then only that there will be net CO2 emission. Then what are the other advantages of a battery electrical vehicle? It offers good acceleration and silent in operation. The efficiency of this battery electrical vehicle is very high. It is around 75%. The motor itself, both the bushless, the BLDC type of electric motor and synchronous motor, they offer around 93% of efficiency. But this efficiency comes down to 75% because there is some energy loss during discharging and charging of battery. But the limitation of these electrical vehicles is that the energy density of any lithium polymer battery at present is around 360 to 950 kilojoules per kg. But whereas a gasoline or petrol, diesel, they have got around 40,000 kilojoules per kg energy density. Hence, the range of these battery electrical vehicles cannot match the petrol vehicles or diesel vehicles. Also, the charging speed is at present, it is less, and there are less charging stations as well. And the growth of the charging infrastructure is not improving at the required rate. And present lithium polymer batteries, one more important geopolitical or strategic reason is that a battery is nothing but an electronic device. It requires many microchips, electric motors, all of them require rare earth materials such as cobalt, nickel, and molybdenum. And one shocking news is that around 50% of all these mines of all these important materials is controlled by China. So hence, it is also a problem now. But at present, the automobile supply chain, that is internal combustion engine powered automobiles supply chain, is spread evenly across the world. There is no monopoly. But these battery electrical vehicle, in case of battery electrical vehicle, at present the monopoly is with China. So hence there is research going on to replace all these rare earth materials to produce a battery. One of the invention that is going on is sodium ion battery. And once again, there are problems. There is no standardization of battery production. Hence, recycling is a problem. And mining of all these rare earth materials is energy intensive. They also affect environments, and they're not unsustainable because the gasoline or diesel vehicles are also unsustainable because the reserves of crude oil is depleting. One fine day, the reserves of these rare earth materials may also deplete. It may also decrease. So we have to have research to replace these materials to produce a viable battery. Until then, the battery electrical vehicles is unsustainable. We have also the China controls 50% of mines. The next slide shows that. You can see here. CATL is a battery manufacturing company from China. BYD, we all know, it is also from China. So combining these two, they're almost controlling 50% of the battery production capacity of the whole world. So that is a problem. And here this slide shows the mines of rare earth materials controlled by China. And this slide, this column is showing the lithium ion battery production requires almost 3 times more energy than normal lead acid battery. And the production of lithium ion battery is energy intensive, and also it produces carbon dioxide. And because of some reasons like limited range, some fire accidents, initial cost, repair cost, nowadays the demand for the electrical vehicles is decreasing, or at least it is flattening. It is flat. So this slide shows in India it is happening. You can see here the month-on-month growth is already in negative. So here you can see negative. So these are all Indian electric manufacturers, two-wheeler manufacturers. Their demand is already decreasing because of some range problems, initial cost, maintenance cost, non-availability of infrastructure, and some fire hazards. This thing is reducing. And this slide shows the four-wheeler manufacturers of India and their growth. We can see Tata Motors. It is already reducing by 31%. Tata Motors actually they're giving you around 1.5 lakh rupees discount for the electrical Nexon. Why? Because this is happening. The sales are not picking up because of some above mentioned reasons. Now let us understand the working of a hydrogen combustion engine vehicle. So here it uses Toyota is using multi-cylinder spark ignition engine, and Mazda is using twin disc ankle rotary engines. They are here. both of them are IC engines, and here in this trunk it is sealed compartment. Here we are using high pressure carbon composite tanks. Carbon composite is used to reduce the weight, and the pressure here is around 250 bars to 700 bars. It is just like a bomb carrying. Just behind the passenger, these two are just like bombs. Something happens, if some accident happens, then these could explode. This is the main negative point of hydrogen vehicles. And so here it is a petrol tank, and because if something goes wrong, I mean, there is no gas, there is no fuel station available, then you can push your vehicle through this conventional fuel cap tank. So this is how a hydrogen vehicle works. There are now let us go to the next slide. So these are some of the features of hydrogen fueled internal combustion engine. Here the fuel may be injected in the port, or directly it may be injected. Port injection at present, port injection is not advisable. That injection is going on. The research found that that injection is favorable, and tailpipe emissions are not exactly zero, because since there is lubricating oil in the engine, there might be some traces of carbon oxides, and since we are using atmospheric air contains nitrogen, and when you burn the fuel, it emits heat, and under the presence of nitrogen and heat, oxygen and nitrogen and heat, we may get nitrogen oxides. Hence, we may need a catalytic converter, even if we use a pure hydrogen gas. And one more advantage of this hydrogen fuel is it may sometimes become disadvantage also, because it burns at wider ranges. The stoichiometric ratio of the hydrogen is around 34:1, and the leanest mixture that you can burn with using hydrogen is around 1:8:1. Comparatively, the petrol uses 14.7:1. That is stoichiometric ratio for petrol, and the leanest that you can go is around 25:1. So since we are, sir, ಹೇಳಿ.
ಇನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್? ಒಂದು
10 minutes. ಓಕೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್,
5 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 2 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್, we have to wind up by 7 PM.
Okay, sir. So this, okay. So hydrogen fuel, hydrogen fuel is not exactly the rosy picture. It has got some advantage and disadvantage. This slide shows that. Let us directly go to the comparison. So this is the chart which shows that the comparison of electrical vehicles carbon dioxide emission with normal conventional vehicle. This is the conventional vehicle which is producing around 250 grams per kilometer, and these are the electrical vehicles which are France.
Overview conclusion ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
Okay.
ಅವರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Okay. So the last slide, this is how we can reduce the battery electrical vehicle emissions, and this is the comparison. So hydrogen, if you use hydrogen, then it gives around 41 tons of CO2, and if you use battery electrical vehicle, it gives around 39 tons of carbon dioxide. So these two are both comparable, but the hydrogen has got some advantages that we can have a better range. Final thoughts. So these are the final thoughts. So battery electrical vehicles are only suitable for part load and limited range, unless and until there is some miracle happens, some invention happens in battery technology. And whereas the hydrogen powered vehicles, they have got around they are suitable for high powered long range transportation. So if we use judicially both these technologies, then India can achieve zero emission by around 2070, as it promised to the whole world. So these are the references that I have used to create this presentation. Thank you. Is there any questions, sir?
Thank you, sir. Bagli sir. There's, I think, GPT Gauribidnur. ವಿಜಿ ರಾಜ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್?
ಸರ್ ಇದು ಹಲೋ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಸರ್
Srinu,
ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್ ತಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ. ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ.
Okay. At present technology batteries around 8 years or around 8,000 cycles, 2,000 to 8,000 cycles of charging and recharging, or around 8 years the battery can be used.
What is the recycle? What is the amount we may get after 8 years?
Sir, at present, the same battery, whenever you use it, after 8 years, it will hold around 70 to 80% of charge capacity. Hence, the same battery may not be suitable for automobile, but it can be used for stationary purposes. So, in that way, you can extend its use. But at present, the battery technology is not standardized. Hence, recycling is actually difficult. That is the main problem of lithium-ion batteries.
Sodium ion can be used in the sir. Sodium ion.
Sodium-ion battery can be used, but the energy density of sodium-ion battery is still lesser than lithium-ion battery. But only advantage of sodium-ion battery is, as you said, it is recyclable if it is standardized, and also it is abundantly available. It is not rare.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Baglikar,
Okay.
for a
Thank
very
you,
nice
sir.
talk on future fuels of sustainable transportation for India. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now we will move on to the next speaker, Mr. Harish K. So he'll be speaking on fuzzy virtual inertia control for wind-based power systems. Now, Mr. Harish K is working as selection grade lecturer in electrical and electronics engineering, CPC, Government Polytechnic, Mysuru. And to his credit, he has publications in this area. In most of the wind-based energy system, he has publications. And he is also pursuing his doctoral studies. Over to you, sir. Harish, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ನಿಮಗೂ ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ.
ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 6:42 ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ. ಒಂದು
ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ 12 minutes delayed start.
ಓಕೆ 20 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. Okay, once again welcome all of you to this AROHAN 2024 lecture series of 7th session. Topic of presentation is fuzzy virtual inertia controller for a wind-based power system. This is a small research work carried out along with Professor Jaishankar of NIE Mysore. This will be the contents of my presentation. My presentation includes the methodology that has been used to implement this work, and also it includes about the publications, that is the papers that have been published in the IET Journal of Research. Demand on electricity is increasing exponentially due to industrialization, urbanization, and enhanced living standards. On the other hand, the conventional fossil fuels are reducing, and also due to the environmental concerns, human beings are forced to look into alternative sources. Among them, renewable sources are the major sources, and wind is one of them. But usage of wind source into the power system has resulted in a reduced grid inertia. Usage of wind sources has resulted in reduced system inertia or the grid inertia. And this reduction in grid inertia results in frequency instability issues. That is, during the transient conditions, deviation in frequency will be more. The literature survey informs that virtual inertia controller can be made use of to address these frequency instability issues. In this work, two controllers have been developed. To begin with, a conventional PID controller has been developed, and later on, a non-linear fuzzy logic controller has been developed. And in presence of both these controllers, the performance of the system is better during the transient conditions. That is, the deviations in frequency is less, the variations in frequency is less in presence of these controllers during transient conditions. A detailed literature survey has been conducted, and the literature survey informs the usage of various controllers. Some of them are linear controllers, some of them are non-linear controllers, H infinity controllers, LQR controllers, and these controllers have been used in variety of power systems, isolated power systems, small microgrids, etc. These are the objectives that have been framed before carrying out this work. The entire test system, along with the DFIG, doubly phased induction generator based wind farm, and the virtual inertia controller has to be mathematically modeled. Okay, here in this work, the entire test system has been mathematically modeled, and the test system has been built on MATLAB Simulink platform, and it has been tested in presence of both conventional and a nonlinear fuzzy logic controller. The performance is found to be better in presence of both these controllers. This is the methodology. This is the test system. A test system is a two-area system. Area 2 comprises of two synchronous generators of 900 MVA, and area 1 comprises of one synchronous generator of 900 MVA and a wind farm. The total load on this system is 1600 megawatt. The total load on the system is 1600 megawatt, and the two areas have been interconnected using a tie line. The same thing has been given in the form of a table. These are the equations that have been used to model wind turbine. And these are the equations that have been used to model the DFIG, doubly fed induction generator. And these are the equations that have been used to emulate the virtual inertia. Okay, now let us concentrate on the PID type virtual inertia controller. Input to this PID type virtual inertia controller is the deviation in the rotor speed of the synchronous generator, that is taken as the input. And here this is the P part of the controller, this is the I part of the controller, this is the D part of the controller. Here physical parameters have been made use of as the gain constant. For example, in the P part of the controller, the droop is used as the gain constant. And here in the D part of the controller, inertia constant is used as the gain constant. This provides inertial power. The output of the PID virtual inertia controller, it provides inertial power such that reduces the frequency deviations during transient conditions. Transient conditions can be either sudden increase in load, large load, or sudden decrease in large load, or during fault conditions. So that overall, this performance of this PID type virtual inertia controller is similar to that of a synchronous generator. This is a PD type virtual inertia controller. Okay, once again here also input to this controller is deviation in the rotor speed of the synchronous generator. The performance of both PD type and PID type are almost same. However, results show that the performance of PD type is slightly better in comparison with PID type virtual inertia controller. Okay, why non-linear controllers? The non-linear controllers are more accurate. Even if there are any uncertainties in the internal parameters, and even if there are any bounded external disturbances, the performance of these non-linear controllers are better in comparison with the linear controllers. Hence, we went in for non-linear controllers. Okay, why only fuzzy controller? To begin with, we look for two more controllers. One is sliding mode controller, and another one is neural network predictive controller. The sliding mode controller at the lower order, at the first order, if you consider first order sliding mode controller, it has chattering problem. Oscillations will be more during settling. And also if you go for higher order sliding mode controller, then too many equations are there. Designing the controller is slightly complicated, hence we did not consider that. And later on we looked into neural network predictive controller, but here the controller has to be properly trained, and also here also it is complicated, hence we did not consider that also. Finally, we narrowed down into fuzzy controller as it is easier to develop since it operates on the past experience. Okay, now let us see how this fuzzy logic controller has been designed. It has two inputs. One is deviation in frequency. The other one is a rate of change of frequency, or it is also called AROHAN. This diagram shows the ranges of the various membership functions. And here, these are the linguistic variables that have been used here in this work is what? In this here in this fuzzy logic controller is negative large, negative medium, negative small, 0, positive small, positive medium, and positive large. This is the output of the fuzzy logic controller, P inertial output. And one second diagram shows the ranges of the various membership functions. And this is the fuzzy logic rule base, which is used to determine the output of the fuzzy logic controller. For example, if the deviation in frequency is positive large, and also if rate of change of frequency is also positive large, then output of the fuzzy logic controller should be negative large. It means that the frequency has to be reduced. Similarly, if the deviation in frequency is 0, and if rate of change of frequency is also 0, then the output of the fuzzy logic controller should be 0, indicating that no change is required. This is the fuzzy logic rule viewer. This is the Simulink diagram of the fuzzy logic controller, fuzzy logic based virtual inertia controller. Okay, this is the block diagram of fuzzy type VIC. Once again, input to this fuzzy type VIC is the deviation in rotor speed of the synchronous generator. This is the fuzzy logic controller. This controller has two inputs. One input is deviation in frequency. The other input is a rate of change of frequency. It gives the inertial P inertial output such that deviation in frequency will be reduced. The performance of this fuzzy logic virtual inertia controller is similar to that of a synchronous generator. If we take example of a conventional power system, a conventional power system is one which is supplied by a conventional synchronous generators. If the load on the system suddenly increases, then supply will be less, demand will be more. As a result, frequency falls down. Power, that is the real power or the active power. The active power and the frequency are interrelated as per the swing equation. Since the demand is more, supply is less, the frequency falls down. But as a natural response, the large amount of kinetic energy stored in the rotating masses of the synchronous generators are initially made use of to meet the additional power requirements of the grid, so that deviation in frequency will be reduced or fall in frequency will be less. In the same way, this fuzzy logic virtual inertia controller, it tries to extract the kinetic energy that is stored in the blades of the wind turbine. This kinetic energy is used to meet the additional power requirement of the system. As a result, fall in frequency will be reduced. This P inertial power addresses two dynamic issues. One, it reduces the rate of change of frequency, and number two, it reduces the deviation in frequency during transient conditions. The performance of this fuzzy logic virtual inertia controller is similar to that of a synchronous generator. Means what? It mimics the synchronous generator. It is called virtual inertia controller because it tries to emulate the inertial characteristics of synchronous generator without having any rotating parts. hence it is called virtual inertia controller. Okay, this is the Simulink model of the test system. This is the subsystem for area 1 and this is the subsystem for area 2. These are the inner details of area 2. Okay, these are the inner details of area 1. Area 1, as we have already discussed, it has one synchronous generator of 900 MVA and this is the wind farm that has been connected to area 1. And this is the subsystem in which the virtual inertia controller has been placed. Either it can be linear controller or it can be non-linear controller. Okay, now let us concentrate on results. Case 1, when the load is suddenly increased by 10%, that is when 160 megawatt of load was added at time t is equal to 35 seconds. When no controller is used, the fall in frequency is indicated by red line. You can see that the fall in frequency is less. But in case of a PD type controller, a traditional controller, the fall in frequency is reduced. And in presence of the fuzzy controller, as shown by the blue line, the fall in frequency is still less. So that this diagram tells us that what? The deviation in frequency is less in presence of fuzzy controller in comparison with the PD controller and no controller. This is the Rohkoff plot during this transient condition. When no controller is used, rate of change of frequency will be large, as shown by the red line. On the other hand, in case of PD type and fuzzy controller, the rate of change of frequency is less and also smooth settling can be observed. This is the wind turbine active power plant during this transient condition. The green line indicates the amount of kinetic energy that has been extracted from the blades of the wind turbine to meet the additional power requirement by the PD controller. And this blue line indicates the amount of kinetic energy from the blades of the wind turbine by the fuzzy controller. Since fuzzy controller is capable of extracting more energy from the blades of the wind turbine, the deviation in frequency is less. The deviation in frequency is less in presence of fuzzy controller in comparison with the PD type controller. This is the impact on synchronous generator during this transient condition. The synchronous generator active power has a large number of oscillations as shown by the red line. But in presence of PD type controller and fuzzy type controller, the oscillations are less. That can be observed from this graph. Okay, now if you take case 2, when the load is suddenly decreased by 10%, okay, when there is large reduction of load, when the load is decreased, the demand on the system will be less. On the other hand, supply will be more. When the supply is more, demand is less, naturally the frequency shoots up, frequency increases. In presence of no controller, frequency shoots up to a large value, high value. But in presence of PD controller, the rise in frequency is less. And in presence of fuzzy controller, the rise in frequency is still less. Once again, the rate of change of frequency is more during this transient condition when no controller is used, and it is less in presence of PD and fuzzy controller. Now here in this case, the power supply is more, demand is less. As a result of the frequency will increase. The additional power from the system or the grid has to be taken out and it has to be stored in the blades of the wind turbine. Okay, this green line indicates the amount of additional power that has been taken out from the grid and that has been stored in the wind turbine. And this blue line indicates the additional power or the unwanted power from the grid that has been taken out and that has been stored in the blades of the wind turbine. Okay, this is a 3-phase to ground fault of 10 cycles duration. When such a fault occurs, this is the most severe fault. When such a fault occurs, the drop in frequency is more when no controller is used. But in case of PD controller and fuzzy logic controller, the deviation in frequency is less. This is three-phase to ground fault of 3 cycles duration. Once again, from this graph, it is clear that the performance of the system or the frequency response of the system in presence of fuzzy logic controller is better in comparison with the PD controller and no controller. The single phase to ground fault of 3 cycles duration. And once again, here also it is clear that the performance of the system or the frequency response of the system is better in presence of the fuzzy logic controller. Okay, single phase to ground fault, the most common fault of 10 cycles duration. Once again, what the results clearly show that the performance of the fuzzy logic controller is better, or the frequency response is better in case of fuzzy logic controller. To have quantitative analysis of the results, these two equations have been used. One is the integral square error and another one is the integral time square error, and the results have been tabulated. If you take the case for rise in load increment, the integral square error when no controller is used is 1.91 into 10 raised to minus 3. But in presence of PD type virtual inertia controller, the integral square error is 1.037 into 10 to the power minus 3. It is less. And in case of fuzzy logic controller, and in presence of fuzzy logic controller, this integral square error is still less. Also, the integral time square error is also less in presence of fuzzy virtual inertia controller. If you take here, the integral time square error is 27.76 into 10 raised to minus 3. But in presence of PD type virtual inertia controller, it has been reduced. It is 23.65 into 10 raised to minus 3. And in presence of fuzzy logic controller, it is still less. So that for all the cases, the performance of the fuzzy type virtual inertia controller is better in comparison with the traditional PD virtual inertia controller or no controller at all. This is the frequency response characteristics. If you take for case 2, load decrement, when a large load is suddenly taken out from the system, the frequency shoots up. When no controller is used, the rise in frequency is 50.39 Hz. But in presence of PD type controller, the rise in frequency is less. It is 50.31 Hz. And in presence of fuzzy logic controller, it is still less. It is 50.29 Hz. And also the maximum roll-off is also less in presence of fuzzy type virtual inertia controller. And this gives the summary of the absolute percentage change during the transient conditions. If you take the case 3 of 3-phase to ground fault for 10 cycles duration, when no controller is used, the percentage change in frequency is 1.04%. In presence of PD type virtual inertia controller, it is only 0.39%. And in presence of fuzzy logic virtual inertia controller, the percentage change in frequency is only 0.3. So that for all the other cases also, the percentage change in frequency is less in presence of fuzzy type virtual inertia controller. See when the penetration of renewable sources, either it can be wind or solar, is more, then it is better to use PD. It is better to use virtual inertia controllers. Either it can be conventional controllers or it can be nonlinear nonlinear controllers, so that the frequency deviation problems will be minimized. As far as the future scope is concerned, the hardware can be developed in the laboratory on a DSP platform or on a FPGA board. This hardware, a prototype, can be developed in the laboratory, and the same work can be extended to multi-area network also. Here we have tested the system only using the wind system, wind source. It can be tested for hybrid system comprising of wind, solar, and conventional sources also. And this is the publication of this work in the IET Journal of Research. This is the front page of the paper. And these are the references. Okay, thank you.
Sir, this, yeah, very nice talk, sir. Do you have any questions from the participants? Yeah. Priyadarshini. Connect agli. So I have one question, sir. This
Tell me, sir.
The virtual inertia controller, what you have been telling this, and this analysis you have done using what software?
So MATLAB simulation. It has been built on MATLAB simulink software.
MATLAB simulation.
Simulink platform.
Then, I mean, have you got a chance to test it on real time on site or anything like that?
So only simulations we have done.
Okay.
Only simulations we have done, but a lot of research work is going on, because in future the conventional sources are depleting, and it will be we have to depend more and more on renewable sources. There is no control over the input. We have control over the conventional sources. Either it can be hydroelectric plant or coal or thermal power plant. We have control over the input. But if there is penetration of wind source or solar source, then we don't have control over the input. Since we don't have control over the input, this frequency deviation issues have to be addressed, sir. We have considered only frequency deviation issues, and there will be voltage issues also that we have not considered in this work.
Thank you, sir. There is one person raised, Mainuddin. Has he got a question or not? No, I don't think so. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
For the talk. I thank all the speakers of the day today for giving wonderful talks. On behalf of the Department of Technical Education, I thank one and all the principals, faculty from the polytechnics, students who have joined this lecture series. Thank you one and all.